Hi, it's you and Ellery here making bonsai in Australia, and in this video I'm doing a bit of an update on my rose bonsai as well as a couple others. So I've got my coastal rosemary here, a bit of a experimental tree to use for a bonsai, and then I've got one of my Cork bark Chinese elms that I want to prune back. So it's just the start of autumn, and yeah, just want to kind of prune a couple things back just to give them, or especially for this and the coastal rosemary, just to give them a little bit more of a profile, especially so that the lower down branches get a bit more vigor in them and don't die back, which is something that I saw for this rose. So when I did originally turn this into a bonsai about 7 months ago, I will leave a link to the video above so you can check that out. A few of these branches grew quite vigorously for some time. I did get a rose. It was advertised as a white rose. Turns out it's a yellow rose, but anyway. But yeah, they grew really vigorously. But then the branches that were lower down around this area, they all started getting a little bit yellow and kind of weak, just because all the vigor was going in the upper branches. So since doing that video, I have pruned it back, and you can see the new shoots that are coming back. So just really hoping to keep all of the vigor in this area, which is the area I want to maintain as the profile of the bonsai. Now you can also see, so in that original video that I did, I'd pruned back this area a fair bit, and you can see the bark just starting to heal up around that. So I've since then gotten a just one of my pruning things and really tried to eat away at that, because I've noticed with a lot of roses they tend to get these really big massive clumps, which is what was originally here, where you've pruned them back. So I'm trying to avoid that inverse taper as much as possible there. I'll probably end up having to prune it back again in future. But yeah, so it's done quite well. It was the first rose that I've ever, just getting rid of this wire that I used to wire it in, but it was the first rose that I'd ever actually turned into a bonsai, so I wasn't sure if it would actually survive the severe root pruning, sorry, that I did. So I wanted to remove this wire just to avoid the wire biting into the roots. But it appears it's kind of rusted anyway. So yeah, really rusty. It wasn't your standard bonsai wire that I used. It was just normal wire, so the watering has rusted it away. So yeah, wasn't actually going to really do anything on this other than a brief update, because yeah, it's not ready for me to repot it. It's only been in this pot for 7 months, so probably leave it another year or so, and it doesn't need pruning, so put this away. Now the coastal rosemary, it's a bit of another matter. Now, because it's a very experimental, I haven't worked with one of these before, and haven't been able to find any content of anyone working with this before. Just kind of picked it up from Bunnings, but when I pruned it, I wasn't sure if it would bud back from dead wood, and evidently it does not, because yeah, I've got a lot of these branches here that have just died from when I pruned it back. So just going to clean that up first. But it did survive the pruning quite well, and as you can see, it's kind of grown a little bit chaotic. So you can see all these branches that are kind of, just kind of shoots these long little bits out. Now, it's not really the best material for bonsai based on that, at least it seems to be. But I'll work with it and see where I can go. Yeah, I kind of want to just get rid of this branch at the back here, just to just to get rid of a lot of this extra branching, but just to kind of emphasize the movement in the trunk there. So I'll probably ultimately repot it maybe more kind of that kind of position, but yeah, just getting rid of some of the extra noise, and let these two branches grow as the primary branches. Now, learning from my last mistakes, prune it back to where there are actually leaves. Nothing fancy, just pruning back. Hopefully it'll bud back a little bit more before winter, and then I'll have a bit to work with. But yeah, just really trying to control it. So this cork bark turn is out. So yeah, I didn't have any bonsai pots from memory when I originally potted this, so I just put it in a training pot. But yeah, if I can get the light right there, you can see that there's quite a bit of character in the trunk there. So I'll try and work with that. I'm sure it'll turn into something quite nice with time. But yeah, as I mentioned before, just kind of want to prune it back, get a bit more vigor in these little branches. So you can see this one here is really taken off. Now initially I think I'm just going to do a bit of a profile prune, and then I'll jump in there and see which branches in particular I might want to get rid of. Not going to be doing any wiring. Didn't last time. This one will just probably grow as a bit of a clip and grow. It's got a fair bit of character and movement in those branches already. So it's just about trying to get rid of the branches that are in poor positions. So on that note, so there's a branch in here. It's kind of coming off this trunk here, and it's coming straight out but internal. So get rid of that. And all these other branches that are doing the same thing, coming off trunks and then moving into the center. No reason for me to keep those. A couple of dead branches. And because I haven't potted this properly, so I haven't yet decided what is going to be the front, so I do just want to keep branches that might be in good positions. I will leave, so it's really just about eliminating those problem branches at this point. And also, the branches like this one here, it's a very straight one coming out there, and then I pruned it off there, but it came out like basically to there, just as one big long straight branch. So those kind of branches I will prune back more, just to allow it to bud back and give me a little bit more taper and movement. So probably do that to a lot of the branches, just to give me more character to work with next time I prune it. And hopefully next time I prune it, I'll put it into a spot. So that part kind of just comes out straight and back in. Get rid of that. Just prune that whole area back to a bit of a bud that's on that branch, so hopefully it comes out in a better location in future. And this branch is just, yeah, it's kind of coming out and poking up towards that other main branch there, so get rid of that. Yeah, a lot of these, especially because the canopy was so thick, there's a lot of those branches that kind of shot out, straight out, just to reach some sunlight, so there's a lot of those that I'll prune back. And a little one here that's just kind of falling down. One here that's just going straight up. Oh, no, start to form a nice pad there. Hoping the same with these. And then there's just these two main leaders. And yeah, I'm not sure, I might get rid of one of those in time, but I'm not sure yet which. Will likely be this one here, just because, yeah, I'm assuming that'll be the back because it's a little bit like nice character in the roots there, but quite bleak in the actual trunk itself. So I'm assuming I'll get rid of that to work with this one as a bit more movement and better view from the other side, which is more likely to be the front. But not doing anything specific today, so I'll let that grow and see what happens. So, yeah, just a bit more pruning there. That's now done, and yeah, hopefully that'll grow and give me a lot more to work with now that I've pruned it back into a bit more profile. Okay, so look, I hope you've enjoyed this video or taken something from it. Just a brief bit of an update on a few of my bonsai, varying degrees of progression. So yeah, look, if you have enjoyed the video, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel to be notified of future videos as I release them. And otherwise, look, thanks for your time today. Enjoy. Bye.